Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so nothing really crazy has happened in camp besides Jalin Hyatt going off again yesterday, which I just made a video about Jalin Hyatt, I think 2 days ago or 3 days ago. So I wasn't going to make another video just talking just about Jalin Hyatt. It didn't really make sense. But I wanted to throw out a video today on some of the standouts of training camp and then some of the disappointments. Some people I kind of expected more from in training camp, or just some of the people that just aren't performing that well at training camp. So I'll just jump straight into it. I would say that the number one standout, the thing that has fans the most excited, is Darren Waller. I think Darren Waller being here on the Giants is, I feel like we lucked out with that whole trading KT away and having that third round pick and being able to use that to get Darren Waller. At first we thought it'd be for a little bit amount of money, and we ended up restructuring it to make some more, make some more things happen. But he's getting paid $17 million now. It's going to be chump change for how valuable he's going to be to this offense. He's been open every day, all day. The first couple of days of training camp, they kind of had to tell Daniel Jones, like, okay, come off of Darren Waller a little bit because we got to get some reps with everybody else. But Darren Waller was always open. He's fast. He's strong. He's 6'6". He's bigger than everybody else out there. He is a huge human being that moves way too fast, that moves faster than a lot of receivers, that can run routes, that can high point catches. So Darren Waller is going to be an X factor, and this year in training camp, he's done nothing but ball out. He hasn't made a bunch of plays down the field, but people know that that's coming. His opportunities down the seam, they'll come. But every time he's lined up against somebody that I've seen, he's usually winning that rep, if not, besides perfect defensive coverage, with them being able to get a hand on the ball. But shout out to Darren Waller. He's really been performing. In next place, Trey Hawkins. I made a video about Trey Hawkins. I made a whole video about him 2 days ago, or maybe 4 days ago. But Trey Hawkins is a guy that got drafted in the 6th round, and we really were not expecting much from him this year. We were thinking maybe he's even going to be on the practice squad this year because he's just a physical specimen. 6'2". I think now he's over 200, or I think he weighed in at like 188, maybe he's 195. But I know his weight has gone up as far as his listing weight since he first got here, or since the draft. But anyway, he's a big corner, physical corner, fast corner, has all the tools that you want out of a prototypical outside boundary corner. And he has been all over the place. Like, he is in everybody's grill. First, he was just doing it to the third string receivers. Then he's doing it to the second string receivers. And people are saying it's training camp. He's just doing this against this. And he's been getting pretty consistent. Not every single play, but he's been getting a good amount of first team reps. And he's still playing well. Like, Jalin Hyatt beat him on a deep route yesterday. But other than that, I mean, he's been really, even on that route, he's been around. He's been really close to the receivers. He's got a hand on them. He's physical at the line of scrimmage. No one is getting open against him. And it's really crazy to just see this guy get drafted in the 6th round. And he looks like he looks like he's going to be a player for us. Now, we haven't played one preseason game. So you're not going to see me say like he's going to be a superstar, but he has all the physical tools to be one. And it seems like he has the competitive edge to be one. A lot of the things that we saw in college from him, as far as not having the ball skills to swat the ball away at the point of attack, that's gone away. He's been there. He's been getting his hand on a lot of these passes. He's using good technique, reaching with the right arm. So Trey Hawkins is looking good. I definitely say he's made himself some money. And he hasn't literally made money, but he's a guy that got drafted in the 6th round, that worked his way from the 3rd team all the way up to the 1st team. Bravo to him. That just shows you that this coaching staff actually lets people work their way up. And then thirdly is Jalin Hyatt. And I talked about Jalin Hyatt, like I said in my last video, and I'll keep this quick. If you want to see more of what I think about Hyatt, then look at that last video. And I also have a film session on Jalen Hyatt when he was at Tennessee. But Hyatt is explosive. He's faster than everybody else is out there. I have my opinions on it. I think he's the fastest player in the NFL. That's just my opinion. I've seen it, what I see on tape compared to other players in college. I just think he's the fastest player in the NFL. He's a guy that's going to make a bunch of big plays for us. Yesterday, two deep touchdowns from Jalen Hyatt. Not much today from what I saw. But the offense has pretty much performed well today. But I'm not even covering today's practice. Nothing huge happened today. But Hyatt is making plays all over training camp. And you got to think that it probably went from a guy that they might work in, over time, to a guy that you might see him out there, in the first couple of plays of the entire season, because he's been able to consistently run these deep routes, get open, even run some of these shorter routes and get open. So Hyatt has turned some heads. And the next guy is Andrew Thomas. I mean, there's nothing to explain about Andrew Thomas. Of course, he's standing out. He does not give anything up. His hands are always in the right spot. His feet are always in the right spot. He's always under control. He doesn't lose any reps. He's going against Thibodeau. He's going against Ojulari, and he's making them look pedestrian. So Andrew Thomas, not much to talk about there. Besides the fact that the guy blocked me on Twitter, but that's a whole different story. I didn't say anything, guys. I promise you, I would never say anything to cross Andrew Thomas, but who knows what happened there. But shout out to Andrew Thomas. He is not losing anything in training camp, and he doesn't really lose anything in the actual games either. Moving on to disappointments. And I say disappointments, but just players who haven't played well. I'll say Darren Holmes first, because I'm not disappointed because I expected this. But Darren Holmes hasn't been able to cover anybody this entire training camp. Hyatt has beat him. Darren Waller has beat him. Isaiah Hodgins has beat him. Paris Campbell has beat him repeatedly. Sterling Shepard, Cole Beasley. I think even Colin Johnson has beat him. Everybody is doing whatever they want on Darren Holmes. And, if anybody has ever watched the YouTuber back in the day, Chris Move, we playing 2K, or he would say whoever offense on this person, where like anybody can come up and do whatever they want and they'll be open, they'll be able to score. That's what Darren Holmes is right now. He's not playing well. He's struggling. I don't know what happened to this guy, because he was a really good slot corner as a rookie. And he's also more of his own player. But as soon as we kind of go over to man coverage, Darren Holmes has not been able to stay with these shifty slot receivers, and he's not able to play outside either. So unfortunate for Darren Holmes, but because of he's getting paid, a certain amount, I think he's getting paid over $1 million, or I don't know how much he's getting paid, but he could be a cap casualty, and they could save some money by cutting him this year. So Darren Holmes hasn't looked good. The next guy is Deontay Banks, which this isn't panic mode. I'm not hitting the panic button about Deontay Banks, our first round cornerback out of Maryland. He's a guy that, he's going to have to learn. Trey Hawkins is looking really good. That's fine. But not everybody's not the same player. Deontay Banks may very well be a Hall of Fame player. Not to say he is, but he could very well be a Hall of Fame player. And Trey Hawkins could just be a rotational player. We never know, because we haven't played any games. But Deontay Banks has been struggling. He's gotten better as camp has gone on. And they were calling him one of the worst players in camp as far as how he's performed in camp leading up to like 3 or 4 days ago. And I guess since that first day the pads went on, he's been solid. I haven't seen him, get his hand on too many passes. I haven't really seen him make too many plays. And I haven't really seen him they haven't shown the one-on-ones of him staying with people. So I'm not able to see if he's gotten better completely, but I haven't seen the bad plays either. So hopefully that's a sign that everything is only going to get better for Deontay Banks. But yeah, slow start for him, but he is going to turn it around. I'm sure of it. He may even be horrible at the beginning of the season, but I'm thinking halfway through the season, Deontay Banks is going to be a good corner. I'm not saying he's going to be a star. I think he'll be a good corner at least halfway through the season. He's too physical. He has way too many great traits for him to struggle. I know he can do it. Next up for me is Darren Beavers. And I say disappointment, not because he's playing so horribly. I haven't been to any of the camps. I'm only going off of clips, what reporters are saying, what a lot of people are saying, what people I know who's going to camp are saying. And Darren Beavers, again, I'm not saying he's playing bad at all, but I know he started off as the number one linebacker. Coming off of his ACL injury, coming off of his ACL injury, Darren Beavers was a guy that really everybody kind of penciled in as a starter next to Bobby Okereke. He was a starter. So, or Bobby Okereke is how you pronounce his name going back. But Darren Beavers was a starter coming out. Guys like Paul Dottino over on Big Blue Kickoff Live have said that Darren Beavers, he trusts that guy so much that he thinks he's pretty much already a starting linebacker. The Giants last year loved him. But Darren Beavers looks like he got his job snatched. He looks like they believed in him so much, they gave him that opportunity coming off of that ACL. But it looks like Micah McFadden is back in that spot. Micah McFadden has actually made a couple of splash plays, got his hand on a couple of passes, has been around. A guy like Brett Coleman on YouTube, a guy that covers all 32 teams, he's a fan of Micah McFadden. I wasn't a fan of him this past year. I don't think he played well at all. But maybe a guy like a vet coming in that's been giving him pointers. He had an interview where he said Bobby has helped him out a lot. Maybe a vet like that is helping him become a better player, because it seems like he has taken that starting job away from Darren Beavers, and Darren Beavers is looking like your third inside linebacker at this point. So kind of disappointed to see that, because he was moving around like a missile. I hope his ACL is okay. I hope he's healthy. It's of course probably going to take him some time to get back to playing as confidently as he was before the injury. But I hate to say it, I thought I would see more from Darren Beavers so far, but we will definitely see as those pads go on in the Lions practice and as that preseason starts up. And then last, I'll say a disappointment, but not a surprise, is the third edge position. And I'm just talking about all those guys. I haven't seen spectacular things from Timon Fox, haven't seen spectacular things from Zimenez. I think I'm forgetting the guy that we took as an undrafted free agent, Baldonado. I haven't seen anything out of Baldonado. I haven't seen one splash play out of him. He was a guy that people say he's a sleeper to make the roster. Again, we will not know about any of these defensive linemen and offensive linemen until we get into an actual preseason game, until we get into those Lions practices. Even with the pads on, a game is a whole different thing. So I haven't seen anything from Baldonado. I haven't seen anything from Zimenez or Timon Fox. They've been kind of getting blocked up. I watched Timon Fox and Zimenez kind of get locked up by Matt Parrott, and I don't think that much of Matt Parrott as far as how good he is as a pass protector. So I'm kind of disappointed in that third edge position, because we really need our two guys to stay healthy. They're going to have to play a large percentage of the snaps, and it's just not effective for wanting to have a good pass rush and rotation for those outside guys. We have got to add a third pass rusher. It's got to come from somewhere, whether we sign someone off the street, whether we sign someone after they get cut, after these cut days. But we need a rotational pass rusher who can at least be a little below average of a pass rusher. That will help us a ton. But that's the video for today. I covered, I think, about 8 or 9 names. You guys let me know what you're thinking of camp so far, who you're most excited about, who you're most disappointed in. And catch you guys in another video coming really soon. I'm excited about camp next week with the Detroit Lions. I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday are the joint practices. So stay tuned for that, guys. But you guys let me know what you're thinking of camp down in the comments. You made it this deep into the video. Come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.